Hey, sorry, I didn't see you there. Well, welcome back to another exciting video of The Near Mint Nerd Has Issues. Trying to get some more videos done. Of course, once again, I got busy, such is my life. But it's the spring here in beautiful Toronto, Canada, and I wanted to do a video that kind of celebrates spring a little bit. So I'm going to show you some books, of course. There's going to be some number ones because what is spring but rebirth? Am I right? So rebirth, new number one issues. I've got some number one issues that I've collected throughout the last few months. I'm going to show you and some other spring themed goodies. And then some don't even fit the theme, but that's okay too because what are you going to do, right? What else? Oh, I saw John Wick 3 last night. Highly recommend it. A lot of fun. Also, if you see those that 5-issue run of John Wick out in the wild, I recommend picking it up, especially number one, because it's been said that that is a bridge series that goes between John Wick 2 and John Wick 3, I think. So if you have a chance, pick that up. Those comic numbers are rising. If you see it out there, grab those issues. What else? I'm a little out of breath. I actually kind of ran down here. I'm actually really busy, but I wanted to take this minute, so I ran down here really quickly to get this started. So I'm going to take a little bit of a breather so I can catch my breath. So the best thing to do is to simply pass you over to the other side. But before I do that, remember, you know, I know I don't put up a lot of videos, and I'm trying to be better about it, but still, if you can hit that subscribe button, if you can like the video, or dislike, you know, if you're not enjoying it, that's fine too. You know, I accept that feedback. Also, you know, maybe suggest or recommend this channel to your friends if you enjoy it. Okay, I think that's it for me. I'm the Near Mint Nerd, and it's time for me to pass you over to the other Near Mint Nerd who's going to show you the books, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks, Near Mint Nerd. Okay, so we're over here now in the little comic book nook. As the other Near Mint Nerd from the past mentioned, we are doing kind of a spring-themed haul, and I'll tell you, it's a very tenuous kind of theme this time. It's kind of our April-May, which is kind of sad in its own right, that it's April-May, one video over 2 months. I know after that it's going to get more, but for now, that's what we're doing. So, what should we start with? Okay, so let's start with this. Tomb Raider number 1. I love Tomb Raider. Michael Turner cover, beautiful comic, not worth a lot, but a great $1 pickup that I was very happy with. Fits the theme because new number ones, what says spring like a new little baby at the zoo, right? New birth, new life, and that's what we're looking at here. Number ones, the rebirth of comics. This is I believe the very first issue of Tomb Raider that was published. So that's something, right? But of course they published probably 10 million copies, so it's not really worth much. But I absolutely love this Michael Turner cover. I still think it's got some upside. Definitely worth picking up if you get the opportunity. I thought this was really interesting. This is a Russian, I believe. Let's see, what does it say here? First Russian version of Mickey Mouse magazine. A Russian Mickey Mouse. It's in a poly bag, which is really cool. 1990. Got a little stamp of approval here on it. I found this for $1. How do you not pick something like this up? It's a real oddity, right? I have no idea if there's any value to it. Disney comics tend, especially modern Disney comics, anything from the mid-'80s up, don't really hold a lot of value, so I would guess not, but a really cool oddity nonetheless to have in my collection. I love Mickey Mouse. I love Disney comics. I love cartoon animal comics. I've got some of those coming up too. This is one I've been trying to get my hands on for quite a while. Because as you know, the Near Mint Nerd doesn't like paying a lot of money for comics. And I've seen this on the shelf for 20 bucks for a long time, and I keep passing it by, even though I really needed it, really wanted it. I just wasn't prepared to pay that for even this beautiful, gorgeous Adam Hughes cover. Look at that. Pardon the glare. Oh, gosh, look at that. Unbelievable. And a Dave Stevens poster inside. What? Dave Stevens, of course, is the creator of The Rocketeer. Just a beautiful issue. Written by Kurt Busiek, Jim Ballant on inks, I guess. Needed this for a long time. Eventually got it for $3. So that should be a lesson to you to just keep waiting. Wait it out, you know? Don't go for it on the first try. Okay, so we've also got another Adam Hughes here. Beautiful Killer #1. This, I feel like, is a very undervalued comic. You can get this for a few bucks still. And it's got, like, look at that. Beautiful sketch designs. That's one of those, you know, Adam Hughes, it's kind of like this weird thing with Adam Hughes. Everyone loves his covers. Everyone gobbles them up. But then you find these ones in the wild for $1. And then you, like, look them up on price guides and stuff or whatever on eBay or whatnot. And there's no value. It's very strange. And this is a beautiful one. Beautiful Killer. That's a 0 issue. I also picked up the #1 as well, which is also an Adam Hughes cover. Also incredibly undervalued. So if you're picking up Adam Hughes because you're a big fan, you know, give these ones a chance. These are, it's a fun series. Now, you know, I know everyone likes kind of like a certain style of Adam Hughes for the ones that kind of go up in value a lot. But these are cool too, and this is a newsstand, so even a little bit of a bonus on that one. I also picked up #2 for $1 as well, just, you know, why not? Beautiful Joe Jusko cover, Jusko, I never know how to say it, from Y2K2, I guess that's 2002. Another great cover. This is a great fun series. Jimmy Palmiotti on this one. I'm surprised that no one's, you know, gobbling those up, making them worth a little bit more money. So let's move, just to keep the spring theme going. I have an issue of Impulse. How does that fit the theme? Well, I've always considered Impulse to be Baby Flash, so... but why I picked this one up for $1 is because of this, the DC Universe logo. It's a DC Universe reprint. These ones came in 3-pack bags. They're some of them are really rare, hard to find, especially in the wild. So whenever I see them, I grab them, especially for $1, because I think these are going to be undervalued, even the ones that right now aren't considered super rare. I don't think this is one of the rare ones, but happy to grab it anyways. This was a really fun series. It ran like maybe about 100 issues. Really dug it. We're going to go a little bit older on the next one. We got Mandrake the Magician from King Comics. Just a beautiful Silver Age comic in great condition. I think I paid about $5 for it. Totally undervalued. It's not in superior condition, but, you know, both staples are there. There's no rust. Corners are pretty strong. You know, it's aged as these comics get, but it's a nice looking #1. So I was super happy to get that, and also super happy to add #2 as well. $5 each. I thought that was a real bargain. Happy to get it. This one is in slightly lesser condition because of, you see those wrinkles there. Probably could be pressed out. I just got a comic press, guys, so I've never really been into pressing before, but I thought I would try my hand at pressing a few comics. So I might even give this a press. I'm not sure. We will see. I don't sell comics, so pressing them is really just to make them look a little nicer in my collection. But just digging those two covers. Just digging those two comics. Great buy for $10 total. All right, what else we got here? Oh, another #1. Here we go. Madman Comics. I absolutely love this early Michael Allred series. I think I might be wrong. I think this might be the #1 issue of the second mini series of Madman. I'm not sure though. I have to look that up. I make all these bold statements, but half the time I'm not right. So, and I totally admit that I sometimes am fact challenged. It's not fake news, guys, because I'm not declaring that it's news. I'm not declaring that it's my answers are right. I'm giving you my best guess. And if I'm wrong, I often, figure it out, and then I tend to like write it on the screen. So maybe that'll happen. What year is this? 1995. Beautiful cover. Boy, Mike Allred is such an underrated artist. You can't find a lot of Mike Allred books that have a lot of value, and that's a shame because he's terrific. We've got Jupiter's Legacy #1 from Mark Miller and Frank Quitely. Not Frank Quietly, Frank Quitely. The play is on the name Quite Frankly. I still hear a lot of people say Frank Quietly. But guys, quiet has the E in the word, not at the back. Quite is spelled Quite. And that's your comic book name lesson. I'm the wrong guy to be giving comic book name lessons because I pronounce everything wrong. But I know that. And I also know that it's not Mark Millar, it's Mark Miller. Even with the R there, that I know for sure because I saw him in an interview say everyone pronounces it wrong. Beautiful Phil Noto cover. This is optioned now. All of Mark Miller's stuff is now optioned, and it's going to be TV series and such on Netflix, so that's great for him. I think they really published a lot of that, so I don't think that's going to be much of a value. Manifest Destiny from Skybound, which is what's his name? Oh man, the name just fell out of my head. The guy who created the Walking Dead comic. Why did I forget his name all of a sudden? That's so weird. Anyways, that's his company. Manifest Destiny is a terrific comic. I was reading it in trades, and at some point I just saw this #1 for only a couple of bucks, and I grabbed it. I don't think there's a ton of value, but I will tell you this is just an amazing series. So much fun, so good. If you have a chance to read this in any form, highly, highly, highly recommend it. I got DC. Well, hey, Rebirth, right in the title, right? That fits the theme. Superwoman #1. I don't know, how this falls into the continuity now. This comic's gone, and there's I don't know. I think this was a holdover from the New 52. It didn't last long, and I think they reversed all this anyways at some point, right? Who knows? I'm not even sure, but this is a beautiful Terry Dodson cover, so that doesn't bother me at all. I just love it. Terry Dodson, very, and Rachel Dawson is just, they do a lot of covers. They don't get a lot of credit. They're not as, they don't get the same kind of appeal as Art Germ or Adam Hughes, but I think in a lot of ways they're just as strong. What else? We got zombies. What says spring like zombies rising from the grave? That fits the Easter theme, right? I mean, isn't that what Christianity is? Jesus became zombified and rose from the grave. Weird religion stuff. Wow. But that's all good. Zombies. So this is Zombies Eclipse of the Undead, issue #1. I didn't know anything about this. I didn't even know it existed, but when I saw this for $1, I grabbed it. Why not? I'm a sucker for zombie stories. Robert Kirkman. That's the name I was trying to think of. Guys, it always comes to me eventually. I got me a Harley Quinn #1, and this is, they did about 50 covers of Harley Quinn. This is one of the more sought-after ones. It's just an absolutely gorgeous cover. I mean, my God. It is just so awesome. I love that she's got a Joker stuffy hanging off her. Everybody's a zombie. This could be a cover for the new Deceased. Is that how you say it? Deceased. Comic from DC. Wow. Just love it. Isn't that great? Don't you wish you owned that? I know you do. I know you do. What else we got here? Oh, well. I had to get me this cover because it's got some Stan Lee on it, guys. This comic's needs a desperate press. You can see it's got a couple of little little folds in the spine there. But other than that, it's in perfect condition. Probably could be pressed. I think this one, there's one here, if you can see it, is a little bit color breaking. So it'll never be a 9.8, probably not even a 9.6, but I could get it up to a 9.2 with a press, I think. But just a beautiful, fun, alternate cover variant edition for Secret Wars. Which, by the way, I didn't really like, I got to admit. The Twisted Tales of Bruce Jones. This I do like. I love the cover and I love anthology stories. So this hit the sweet spot for me. This is a #1 as well from Eclipse Comics. Eclipse, there's if you're looking for comics that have a lot of value, you're not going to find it from Eclipse. But if you're looking for some great stories and some terrific art, not a bad place to look. Twisted Tales of Bruce Jones. I have this one already, but I grabbed another issue just because it was so cheap. This cover became kind of the laughingstock of the cover world, from Finch. Part of the Bendis run, Spider-Woman. It's just such a ridiculous cover. The anatomy is so horribly wrong that this gained some infamy for that a few years back. But I believe this is also a first appearance. I believe this is the first appearance of Mariah Hill, who was a bigger character in the Bendis years. Not really name checked too much anymore. So probably the value's down on this. But it's always nice to have a minor key. Let's see. We got a Jeff Campbell cover here. Look at that, J. Scott Campbell. Looking good. Spider-Man Sweet Charity. This is just a fun one-shot. Not much to say about this one. I think I already had it, but for $1, I thought I would grab it. And it's one of those Zimmerman titles. You remember Zimmerman? The guy that he's like a comedian that he created a show called Action starring Jay Moore a few years back for, maybe it was Starz or HBO or something, Showtime. It totally flopped, but it was really good. I kind of miss it. But Zimmerman was hired by... You know what? I guess I do have a lot to say about it. Jeez. He was hired by Joe Quesada because they're friends. And he did books like Get Craven. And he did a Rawhide Kid Slap Leather series. He just did really funny books. I believe he's the one that created the bar for supervillains. And he did an issue of Tangled Web, was it? Spider-Man's Tangled Web, the anthology series. That was excellent. But he got, the fanboys just totally went crazy on this guy. I don't know why. I thought his books were pretty good, but they basically drummed him out of the business, which is, one of those things that fanboys can do, and I don't approve of. They did it to Chuck Austin as well. It's like, it's never nice when the fanboys just kind of, bully someone right out of the industry, but, that's what happens sometimes. The Savage Hawkman, #1. So I don't know too much about this. I didn't read this series. Obviously that's not Carter Hall. I believe that's the Thanagarian version. Qatar Hall. From the, old Hawk World series. I've been reading Justice League, and it addresses this a little bit. I think this is the character that died in Death of Hawkman, and then they brought back Carter Hall from there, I think. Anyways, a first print of a #1 issue of a New 52 title is never a bad thing. What we got here? This used to be one of my favorite series. Green Lantern Emerald Dawn. One of those comics that got me into comic collecting, actually. One of the first things I read back in the late 80s that got me excited about comics. Emerald Dawn. It's kind of a classic series. You'll see the name here, James Owsley. That is actually the original name of comic writer Christopher Priest. He changed his name from James Owsley in the 90s. All right. I like the little lantern there in the barcode box. Love it. What else? Ooh, we got the Nom #1. Not much to say about this series. It had a pretty decent run. I think it did it make it to 100 issues, maybe. This is 1986, first issue, very common issue. I think it's worth about, you could probably get it for $5-6. I bought it for $1, and that's not too exciting. They're very common, but it is a great series. I have a bunch of issues. I have the issues where the Punisher crossed over with the Nom, which was really cool. I'm a sucker for these, covers where they have the photo covers, not the photorealism covers. This is a real photo cover. Captain America. I have the one for Iron Man. I have the one for. I probably have them for all the Marvel movies. They kind of put out these. This is one of the early ones. I think maybe the Tony Stark one is the first. But it's cool. I already have this issue, but I picked up another one for $1 because that's what I do. I can't resist. I can't leave things in the bin. Even though I don't sell comics, I still buy multiple issues sometimes. It's so weird. Here's another copy of Jupiter's Legacy, just a different cover. We already talked about it. I won't go into it anymore. This is a Dave Johnson cover. Quite a cool cover. I guess we'll be seeing this series or movie on Netflix at some time in the near future. We've got Punisher 2099 from Marvel Knights 2099. Another #1. You'll see this is from back. Oh, there's Kirkman right there. Written by Robert Kirkman. I don't mind this. I kind of like the art. I kind of dig it. But this is from when they were really trying to push anime manga art into the Marvel universe. And it didn't go so well. People didn't want that style too much in the Marvel universe. Very popular style, but don't try to transpose it into your very Western company. So that was something that didn't work out the best for anybody. Original Sin #1. I got this because I'm a Magic fan. I used to. New Mutants was the very first comic that got me into collecting. I talk about this a lot, but I'll bring it up one more time. I believe it's issue number 37. I might be wrong about the issue number. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking 37. That's the issue that shows the Beyonder sitting surrounded by dead New Mutants. And, that was from Secret Wars 2, which I know is a much maligned series, but that one issue, I read it, and it was about a guy who basically killed off the entire team of New Mutants in that issue. And I was like, what? And I totally got pulled into that world, hook, line, and sinker. Obviously, they reversed that and brought them back to life in the Secret Wars 2 miniseries, but man, that comic hooked me. Still one of my favorites. I believe it was by John Byrne, and just absolutely loved it. Got off topic a bit. I didn't really like Original Sin too much. I thought it was a little silly what they did to the Nick Fury. Really, this was deck cleaning to get rid of the old Nick Fury so they could bring in the Ultimate Universe Nick Fury, which, of course, as we all know, is our favorite second John Shaft II, Samuel L. Jackson. That's really all this accomplished, and it was kind of overdrawn and overplayed their hand a little bit. But it is a beautiful Arthur Adams cover. It was a mystery, and I won't say it was bad. I believe it was Jason Aaron, and I'm not sure Jason Aaron is capable of doing bad comics. It just seemed like it was an exercise in accomplishing one thing and taking a very long route to get there. They also did something with the Winter Soldier that it feels like they immediately got rid of. I can't remember what it was. I'm a sucker for Richie Rich, although whenever I look at him now, all I see is Little Trump, and it makes me kind of hate Richie Rich, to be honest. All I see is that little spoiled billionaire, and it makes me kind of angry now. But as a kid, oh man, I could not get enough Richie Rich. This was Richie Rich and. So the title is Richie Rich and then every issue they brought in a different character that he was with. So it was basically a Richie Rich team-up title. This is a newsstand, as most Richie Rich comics were back in the day. These were newsstand issues for sure. Professor Keenbean, of course, is the head research and development person in the Richie Rich house. And just a really, really weird thing. I mean, Richie Rich is the stuff he would do is just ridiculous that they had so much money. You can tell I'm old and bitter now because, like, back in the day, it really just, you wanted to be Richie Rich, and now I'm just disgusted by them. Darkhawk, Dawn of the Darkhawk. I already have a copy of number 1, but I saw this for $1 and I could not pass it up, especially in great condition. There's not a nick or a ding anywhere on this. I would say probably a 9. I never like to say 9.6, 9.8. Definitely a 9.2 plus. Dawn of the Darkhawk. I actually have the entire run of Darkhawk. I bought off the comic stands in my teen years because I absolutely liked the character. Back then, not a lot of upside, just one of those dirty 90 armored weird character books. But it's getting a little heat now. I don't know if they're considering bringing this character into the new Marvel Universe or not, but he has generated a tiny bit of heat. But they made about 10 billion copies of number 1, and even with heat, it's only worth about $10. I love Plastic Man. Just can't get enough Plastic Man. 80-page giant. This was put out a few years ago in the mid-2000s, I think. It's a reprint of, obviously, of the original annual from back in the day. But it's got the original stories. It's just a reproduction. I picked it up for $1. And, it's just one of those things that, like, you can sit and read for hours, and it only costs $1. And it's just such a fun book. Come on, guys. Get some of that. We got another... Is this Jeff Campbell? I think I got another Jeff Campbell. Oh, no, Michael Turner. So this is Gear Station number 1. Beautiful Michael Turner cover. The late, great Michael Turner. Just a terrific, terrific cover. Just love that. I don't know anything about this comic. I bought it purely for the cover. I don't typically do that. Although I find myself doing it more and more as I grow older and don't have time to read all my comics like I used to. But if I get around to it, I definitely try to read everything. Looks interesting. Couple of books here. I've already got multiple copies of these. I don't know why I keep buying them. This is 52 week 7. First appearance of Kate Keane. Is it Kate Keane? No, that's not right. Kate Kane. Catherine Kane? I don't know what I'm talking about. I think that's right. Oh, Citizen Kane. Okay, so I think it's Kate Kane. You'll see at the bottom, Citizen Kane. So this is the first appearance of the woman who would become, a few issues later, Batwoman. She's got her own DC Universe series now on TV. That'll be starting next fall. And it's nice to have these 2 books. If you're going to pick up these books, this is the combination to get. There's also a cameo appearance, I believe, in issue 9. Don't quote me on that, or maybe it's 10. But those are the 2 to own, in my opinion. Another book I have multiple copies of, but I keep finding this for a couple of bucks. This was $3. This is the first appearance of Phantom X, a character who hasn't really done as much as I thought he would. And I think he still has a lot of upside. This is probably worth about $20 though, and I keep finding it for cheap, so I keep picking them up. Maybe one day when I'm like 65 and I have no money, I might start to sell my comics. So maybe by then that character will take off and be worth something. The Flintstones and the Jetsons. Like I said, I'm a big fan of cartoon. I started my television writing career in animation. I have a soft spot for all cartoon books. This is Cartoon Network, The Flintstones and the Jetsons. 2 series that I grew up watching as a kid in the late 70s, early 80s. Absolutely dig this stuff. And this is like, this is a modern book. This is from the late 90s. Not worth really anything, but if I see it, I gotta have it, and I will read these ones. I just dig them. Since we're on a roll with the Disney stuff, let's keep going. I got Disney's Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the exciting origin issue, and it's a newsstand, which is pretty cool for a 90s book. This is the first Disney Comics issue. So they, I can't remember, but they may have had a series in the Gladstone days. I don't remember it, but maybe they're just talking about the regular Chip and Dale, which had like a Gold Key slash Dell slash Whitman slash whatever from back in the day. Those old cartoon books. Also got a couple more. I got Donald Duck Adventures #1. Also the first Disney Comics issue. And it's also a newsstand. This is basically they were Gladstone comics. Was it Gladstone or did Gladstone come after this? Oh, I'm getting confused now. I think they were Gladstone. So Gladstone became Disney, like basically just started publishing their own comics in the I would say early 90s, like 90, 91, 92. And I was working at a comic shop at the time, and everyone laughed at me because these were the comics that I would put in my pull list. And they certainly aren't worth much money, but I love them. I just absolutely love Disney comics. They just make me happy. And of course, I also picked up Goofy Adventures. I have a full run of this already, but I did not have a newsstand version. I had the direct market edition. So happy to have Goofy Adventures #1. And I just love looking at all the little Goofies on the cover. It makes me think of Sport Goofy, which just puts a smile on my face. Okay, so I'm going to do these last. Let me just move some stuff around here. Moving some stuff around. Here's another one, #1. Another Michael Turner, another newsstand. That's actually, do I dare say a rare newsstand? Dare I? The newsstand was not in, not a thriving business in 2006. So I would say, this is probably a nice little possibility for a comic that'll appreciate pretty nicely. This is one side of a 2-cover piece. The other side, I guess, would go here. Both of them were #1. I have the other side, of course, but not as a newsstand. But another fun Michael Turner #1 from the era of Brad Meltzer, who I really like, but doesn't do much in comics. More of a author. I picked up DC versus Marvel Comics #1. Why did I pick it up when I obviously already have it? Because there we go, another DC universe. I had to pick that up. This might be one of the rare ones. I never know. I guess I could look it up. I never do because I don't sell. I just like to have. But that's a great comic. I love this series. When I picked this up, I actually reread it. I actually have a big, thick version of it, but of the whole series. But what the heck, right? I picked that up. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed revisiting it. I picked up Transformers Generations issue 1. It's a retailer incentive issue. I don't read a lot of Transformers from anything beyond the old Marvel series. But it seemed like a cool variant cover, cool retailer incentive, so I picked it up. Not super exciting. Will not read it. I'm not a big Transformers guy. But I will and have read this many times. Lady Rawhide, #1, special edition from Topps Comics. I already have these. Again, I think the big theme here of this video is that I already have all these. But I also picked up this one, Lady Rawhide. Just love this Adam Hughes cover. Another undervalued Adam Hughes cover. And I'm not sure why this one's undervalued, other than the fact that Topps, printed millions and millions of copies of everything. So probably it's just too common to be worth anything. But man, who doesn't want to own that cover? This used to have a little bit of value. This is Action Comics #835. The first appearance of Live Wire, a character created for the animated Superman series, who had her first in-continuity comics debut in this issue. But this character didn't really go on to do much. So slowly this comic came back down to earth, sadly. But there was a time when it was a special comic. New Avengers #27, first appearance of Ronin as Clint Barton as Ronin. They had a little taste of this in Avengers Endgame, although I don't think they called him Ronin. He was just kind of in the Ronin suit. and they didn't really talk about it much. So I think this was more of a speculator issue, and because he wasn't called Ronin in the movie, I think and they kind of moved away from it very quickly. I think this comic has now come back down to earth, which is fine. I love that cover though. I love Elektra in the hand. I love it. I really like that Bendis run. I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely loving the Bendis Superman stuff right now. DC Comics presents Superman and the Joker. I have this issue, but it's in like a not great condition. It's pretty messed up. So I was really happy to get an upgrade, and really happy that upgrade was a newsstand, because on top of being just a great issue of DC Comics Presents, which is, if you don't know, basically a Superman team-up title. So each issue is Superman teaming up with somebody. And in this issue, it's the Joker. But it's also the first 16-page preview of the George Perez era of Wonder Woman. Nope, not right. Not right. Not George Perez. Sorry, that came a little bit later. This is the new Wonder Woman by Roy Thomas and Jean Colon. Almost as cool. So you get that instant collector's issue in this free comic. A couple of these things are worth a little bit. There's an issue of something that has the first Teen Titans, which actually became kind of the first Teen Titans appearance as a new team. Also, the first appearance of Blue Devil is in one of these style books that has the 16-page preview. This isn't one that kind of added value to the book because it's not a new character, but still cool to have, and still just a wicked Joker cover. How cool is that? Great comic. Always love that comic. What else we got? We got from Tops again. We have a Hercules and Xena crossover with a beautiful Alex Ross cover. That's really why I bought it. That gorgeous Alex Ross cover. He does a lot of covers now, but back in the day, getting an Alex Ross cover was really special, and this was a nice cover. Look at that, just absolutely gorgeous. I have Joker's Asylum, #1, the Joker. If you're going to get a Joker's Asylum book, you might as well get the title character, right? This is an Andy Kubert cover. Beautiful rendition of the Joker by Andy Kubert. Wow, look at that. I don't know, maybe it's got some value. Probably not, but really cool Joker cover. I was thinking of doing a Joker-themed haul, so I probably should have saved those for that. But, what are you going to do? When I first set out to do the video, this was going to be more of a timely comic because the movie Shazam just came out in April. Now it's closer to the end of May, so I kind of blew that. But I was happy to pick this up for, I think, $3. 25-cent issue, number 19. Just an awesome cover. This was during the time when Shazam was playing on TV. I don't know if you remember the old Shazam series, which was really terrible. It was just Billy and his uncle, I think, driving around in an RV. It was really weird. It was kind of like during the counterculture days, and just a weird book, or weird TV series. The Agony and Ecstasy of Young Love. What is more spring? What says spring more than young love? This is so funny. This is kind of the attitude of, this is the 70s for sure. This guy's making time with the maid. And his wife's outside going, John's having sport with the housemaid again. He never stops. She doesn't seem too disappointed by that. Which is kind of a 70s thing of, it's okay if he's got a mistress or two. That's silly John. Boy, times have changed, huh? We got an awesome Daffy Duck. I love these. This is a Whitman. I love these old issues. This needs a press. You can see it's got a couple of smudges, and the covers, the white parts are a little dirty, but these books are hard to find in good condition because you know who is buying these, right? Children, and children don't know how to take care of comic books, so they all got a little beat up. This one's in better condition than a lot that I've seen though in the dollar bins, so I couldn't resist. Did I write down? I didn't even write down what number it is. Oh, it is. It's 134. A lot of the Whitman books don't have the issue number on them, so I usually write them on the back, but this one actually has it up in the corner. Daffy Duck number 134. So this is a Whitman reprint. It would have been found in a bag of Whitman comics. You usually got 3 for 50 cents or something back then, or 3 for $1. Another nice old 20-cent issue that I picked up along the way for $1. It's not mint. It's got a few little, probably a press would help. But it's, got nice corners, nice staples. Love a good cold key comic. This one doesn't have the number, and I did write it on the back, and it is number 31. So Beep Beep the Roadrunner, number 31, from Gold Key Comics. So it's not a Whitman. So this wouldn't be in the bag. This would have been bought off the rack. When you see Whitman in the corner, that means that it was in a bag. I love those Roadrunner comics. What else? Oh, I'm getting a couple older things here. I'll show you this one. This is one of my favorite old TV series, Sergeant Bilko. They also did a remake movie with Steve Martin in the 90s, which I actually really like. The great late Phil Hartman's in it, and Dan Aykroyd, of course. So I watch that one, once every couple of years. I really dig it. But the original series with Phil Silvers, oh my God, it's so funny. This character, Private Doberman, was one of the main characters on that show. He was kind of the breakout character, kind of a Jackie Gleason of his time. Private Doberman. This is number 3, a 10-cent Golden Age issue, and in great condition. Look, the CBS logo on the corner there. The staples are nice, no rust, completely intact. A little discolored, maybe. I can't even tell, because maybe that was just the color of the cover. You can see on the words there. Can you see here where it's just got a little bit of cover mark there? No price stamp, which is unusual for this era. Just an all-around great book, Golden Age book to have. Just love it. Probably closer to the start of the Silver Age, actually. But, when it's 10 cents, I like to say Golden Age because, come on, I'm never going to have real Golden Age books, so give me a break. We got a Dell Bugs Bunny. This is a nice, let's call late Golden Age, early Silver Age issue. Dell Comics number 36, Bugs Bunny. Just an awesome old comic, in pretty good condition for the time. This would have been the 50s, probably late 50s. I'm not going to win any beauty awards for it, that's for sure. But it's probably a 4, maybe a 3.5, 4. But completely intact, strong staple game. I don't see any rust on those staples. Just an excellent book. Excellent book. And I've read it. It's so much fun. I love those old books. A couple of other not-so-moldy oldies. Captain Marvel number 11. I couldn't resist because it actually says Rebirth on it. Fits the theme very nicely. It's not perfect either. Look at that little corner there. That's not awesome. But man... For a Silver Age book, it is in decent condition, and I love having it. Plus, just because it was in the same box, number 15. So you can see the price change. This tells you that we are getting out of the Silver Age and into the Bronze Age for these issues. But this one's actually in a little bit better condition. Nice, beautiful, vibrant colors on the cover. Just a great issue. Don't worry, guys. We're getting close to the end. I won't keep you too much longer. Now we're getting into like I said, spring is the time of babies. And so I'm going to get into some baby covers here with everybody's favorite baby cover guy. It is Scotty Young. So this is just a pile of Scotty Young baby covers that I have that I'll just quickly show you. Nothing too special. This one's from 2012. It's an older one. But I love these covers. I do collect Scotty Young baby covers. I've got probably 75% of them. So I'll show you the ones that I got recently. These are ones I didn't have that I've recently picked up. Love this Death of Wolverine one. These are all in great condition. Dare I say near mint? I won't dare, but I think all of them are at least a 9. Spider-Man 2099. This is a previews exclusive, San Diego Comic-Con, limited to 4,000. That's pretty cool. From the all-new Marvel Now edition of Spider-Man 2099. We got, based on the TV series S.H.I.E.L.D., really cute cover from 2014. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these guys, just kind of showing them off real quick. Nova, this is a newer one, I think. This is from 2000. Is that 18 or 13? 13, I think. So that's really cute. X-Men Legacy, that's Legion, the character Legion, who now has his own TV show that is awesome. I love Legion. It's so good. From 2012, X-Men Legacy, #1. Love this one. Morbius the Living Vampire, nap in peace. Just adorable. A couple of Halloweens ago, I did a themed haul about gravestone covers. This would have fit in very nicely to it, but I did not have this at the time. Spider-Gwen #1 variant, Scotty Young variant. Dig it. Although I guess she goes by Ghost Spider now. Weird. All new Captain America. This is the first appearance of everyone's favorite Falcon as Captain America, from 2014. Very cool cover. And of course, Endgame spoiler. Falcon becomes Captain America. That's right. Hope I gave you enough time to turn off the volume there if you hadn't seen Endgame yet. And if you haven't, come on. What's the matter with you? Uncanny Inhumans #1. I've never really liked the Inhumans. I know they made a big push for them, but I never really got into them. But always happy to get the Scotty Young cover. Hercules #1 from 2015. Really dig that cover. And another Uncanny Inhumans cover. This is actually an annual #1. And that's another Scotty Young cover. And I have one more Scotty Young cover. It is actually not a baby cover. Scotty Young actually used to just do like really cool, awesome covers. He did a bunch of Deadpool Cable covers. He did some Spider-Man covers. And he did this FF, which was the Future Foundation in 2011. Before he really started doing the baby covers, which he started doing maybe before this, but not the output that he's been doing them. He also did all the covers of Wizard of Oz comics and a lot of the interior art as well. He's just been doing covers, and he did Human Torch covers during the Tsunami era of when they were trying to make everything kind of more anime style. But I just love this because it's got, what's his name? Willie Loman, the Postman. I just love that. And I love Impossible Man. I'll buy any comic with Impossible Man in it because, when I was a kid, I didn't like superheroes that much. I liked funny characters. And so I mostly collected funny characters. I mostly collected, any comic that had Impossible Man. I collected I collected, Disney comics, just funny animals, all that stuff. Obviously, I've learned to appreciate superheroes a lot more since then, but I still have my favorite characters throughout comics. Plastic Man falls into that. Anyone who is kind of just used for yucks, those are my favorites. You know what? I think that's where we're going to end this one. I wanted to keep this to a half hour, and I completely failed once again, but I hope you enjoyed it. And we're going to be back again soon. Hopefully sooner than it took between videos last time. I really want to get back to either a weekly or bi-weekly show. And we're going to try that. I might even do a couple of live shows where I can just answer some questions and stuff from my readers, my viewers. So that might be upcoming as well. Anyways, thanks so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to pass you over now, and I'll see you next time. There we go. Oh, hey, how are you? Sorry about that. Hope you enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun putting this together for you. Like I said, I have boxes, all these boxes here, all these boxes behind me. That's all new stuff from the past year that I haven't shown you yet. I'm also always bringing in new stuff. Always excited to show you stuff. Sorry, I've got sniffles a little bit, spring allergies, so that fits the theme, right? The pollen's out right now, and my eyes water and I sneeze, and so apologies for that, folks. Not the most attractive look, but that's spring for the Near Mint Nerd. Okay, guys. Great to see you. Please hit subscribe. Please hit like if you enjoyed the video. And I'm going to see you guys soon. I'm really going to make an effort to get some more videos out. I've decided I'm going to put a little less production into my videos in order to move things along faster. I think for me, the time it takes for me to do some editing and put up a thumbnail picture and all that stuff, it actually means that less videos because, you know, I know that to do that takes just as much time as shooting the video. So I'm hoping to pull away from that a little bit. We'll see what happens. See, I have trouble with it. But we're going to try. We're going to try if we can. And if we can't, less videos. But I'm going to try to do one a week. Whether that's New Comic Book Wednesday, whether that's just a check-in to say hi, whether that's to show you some great new books that I picked up along the way, some back issues. Who knows, right? It's just for fun. You've probably already checked out. I'm probably talking to nobody now, and that's totally fine because I do that all day long. But I'm going to check out now. Thanks so much for coming, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye, guys.